Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together this Valentine Gnome box card, which is a hex pop-up card from Simply Crafty SVGs. So I just want to show you the pieces. We have this piece, which will be folded. Actually, this is the finished, so this is a version of it. So it's the way it folds is like that. So you may have seen these before. It was my first try in doing these, and I had fun. I want to make some other things. I have some ideas where I could utilize this particular design as a box card. So just expanding on this. But here's a little gnome with little flowers. So it does flatten down, like I said, to fit into an envelope like that. And I made it specifically an A2 card size. So 4.25. Well, actually, it's 4.25 by 5.5, almost quite, but it'll fit in that envelope. So we have I have a pre-made envelope. Of course, we have an envelope you can make. It's a free file on our website. So just a little tip too, before I start doing this, if you have kind of a wobbly one like this and you have dimensional, sometimes what I do is I just take a piece of cardstock and fold it around just to protect it. Then I don't have to do any special kind of hand carry or anything like that postage. So I'm going to pop that up. Just have it sit and look at me while we go ahead and make these. So they go together fairly quickly. So that's a rogue heart from another design. Everything fell on the table. So we have the outside of this, and then this is the innards and the inserts. And these are all the panels and the little pieces to put on the inserts. So we're going to go ahead and piece together some of the smallest pieces first so we can put them on these inserts. But for now, let's go ahead and move this aside. So in a clarification, you may see big pieces that look different. These are the new part of the inside. Since this video was originally recorded, it has been changed just to change the way the middle goes together. So just in case you're confused why some of the pieces don't look the same, that's the reason. So I have all of them in this little embellishment bowl. So we'll go ahead and take these out. Sometimes I dump it, but I'm going to take these panels out, put them aside. So you want to be careful when you do this. Actually, I'm going to get this envelope, and I'll tell you why. So until you're ready to use it, oops, let me do this. I don't want to lose my black pieces because I have a black mat, so I'm going to put them right there. And then all my little pieces, I want to make sure if they're textured that I have the textured side up. So you just might want to just make sure that you have that all situated. So when I go to grab them, I know they're in the right, they have the textured side up, and we're all good to go. Don't have to worry about that, that's big. So we'll do the gnome first. So I'm just putting all these flowers. You could always put them aside. So one thing I'm going to note about cutting this, I made this card intentionally A2. And when you do an A2 size, things have to get really small. So I had to enlarge it as much as I could. But if you have something like this, so it didn't cut as well because I need a new blade, but I'm just going to clean it up. So if you use a Cricut, you want to use intricate cardstock cut, but the thing is that these little hearts will pretty much, if you have a little mess in any of the corners, doesn't cut cleanly, those little hearts will hide it. The hearts are in the middle, so just to give you an idea. But if you want to clean them up, I just take a little scissors and just kind of go in with the tip and clean it up. But again, this is just because I needed a new blade. Part of mine, the last one cut out better, but my blade's getting dull, so that's another thing can affect it. So I'm putting all the flowers over there. So I have all the pieces. So the pieces I'll need for the gnome are those right here. these and then a nose. So let me find that really quick. So I found the nose. You'll laugh, and this is why I use the embellishment bowls. It was on the floor. So the reason I use these little bowls that I created as a freebie is just so I can put the pieces like that in there. So to help us put it together, I have my little pick-me-up tool, which allows me, it has a little, like a little, it's not wax, but, oops, like a sticky stuff that comes out. It's kind of like that sticky stuff you put on the wall. I actually put too much out of there. But it has a little sticky part so I can pick up little pieces and accurately place them. So let's go ahead and start with the hat. So I'm going to get the tree out of our way. So here's the hat piece. I'm just going to add glue around this little edge here, and I'm using art glitter glue. I prefer it, a little bit goes a long way. And then I'm just going to match this up, so we're going to piece this on to the edge. You can always pick it up. Make sure you don't get it in place just on the edge of the hat like that. So this is actually quite quick card to put together, other than the piecing's the longest part. So we'll go ahead and now take this white piece, and you can either put glue on this. So you don't want to go on the white. Don't hit the little edge, that little edge, not the edge, the tip. So just start right here. So you want to go right, you could put glue on the back of this too, but I'm just going to do it on this. I tend to drop things, so instead of accidentally dropping it, I'd rather put glue on the bottom piece. I'm going to go ahead and lightly place it until I have it lined up. And pick it up. You can see it kind of forms a heart at the end. Always flip it over because it will tell me whether I have overlap on the back. Then we'll go ahead and not throw that off the table. Now we can go ahead and add glue to this piece. So I don't know how far I'm just kind of guessing. You can always put glue on the back of that for the beard, but I'm just going to put it down to there. Hopefully it didn't get too wide on it. So I'm just going to match it up. I always put it on lightly and then kind of go press, kind of move it around until it's centered as best I can. If it's a little bit off, you're not going to notice. We're going to go ahead and put this little nose on. So I think it looks good with a little bit of pink on it. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to chalk it lightly with the little, to make the nose a little bit pinker. So you could use ink too, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I lightly chalked the nose, and I put a little bit of foam tape on it. What we're going to do, get rid of that little backing. I'm just going to pop it up. So you want it to overlap just the top, just a little bit, that nose. It's not even, you just want it to overlap. So if you do just glue it flat, if you just kind of go down like that. So this one I glued flat. You can see it just goes right over the edge, top edge of that, the hat, the bottom edge, top edge of the bottom edge of the hat. So now we'll go ahead and we'll put this little heart will go on top. So we're going to put the feet in the heart. So I'm making sure I have the textured side up. So what I'm going to do is just add, these are where the little hands go, and there's like a little, the way you know left and right is the little thumbs on the top. So turn that around, Turn that around. So it's like that. So I'm going to just lightly touch that to pick it up. Same thing on the other side. I want to make sure it's in place before the glue dries. So you can see it's just going around the back just to make sure that it's lined up. So there's little hands. And the feet, just going to add a little glue here. I'm going to go ahead and line it up in that space. That's what's nice about this other side. Helps you line it up. So I think that's the most tedious part other than the flower, but this is this takes more time. But if you did like a couple at a time, so I cut about 2 out at a time just so I could use like the black paper, because it's such small paper and the green that I could do 2 at a time. So this would be a good Valentine's, I call it Valentine's, but it could be a good birthday box too. Or thinking of you or something like that, especially this is during COVID still, so oh boy, it's just always not fun. So on this back little piece, this larger piece of the gnome, there's a little thing that juts out to tell you where you're going to put the left and right. So it's going to be on the left and right. So it kind of angles up. So it just helps you guide it in place. It's very slight. There's slight bumps on the side. And that's the gnome. So we got that out of the way. I'm going to put that to the side. Then this, you can glue it, but I'm going to put little pop dots. So I put little, not pop dots, just foam tape basically. Foam squares. So I'm just going to line it up. Make sure I have it the same way. It pops up pretty far, so, and I don't have it the correct way because I have it upside down. So make sure you have it the correct way before you plop it down. So it gives the tree some dimension. And I also embossed the top and the bottom. So I think that makes it fun. And I already did 2 of the flowers. So the difference is there's 2 flowers of the same size. So those are the same size and this is shorter. But all the middles are the same size and the hearts are all the same size. So it makes it easy. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get rid of this now. So I already did those 2. So let's go ahead and add this last. So all you do, I'm just going to add light glue on this and then line the petals up. Might take a second to get them lined up. I don't want the green to especially show. The little green shows, but you can see from the back, you can see whether you're lined up. I'm not going to get too particular about it. Put a little dot of glue in the middle. And see if I can pick that up with my fingertips. I was going to use that tool, but so you could have this go a little crooked if you want, like kind of angle them, the hearts, however you want. So now let's go ahead and add those to the insert. So here's the insert. So the short one is going to go on the right, and these 2 long ones, which are identical, are going to go right in here, here, and here. So we'll go ahead and add glue. So you could do it on the back of that. Like I said, I drop things. So, and I am using American Craft textured cardstock. I like how it looks. I like how I can work with it, especially it's not just cards. With some of the 3D items I make. So with this one, I'm going to add a little bit here, but it kind of drops down a little bit further than the other one. Just trying to make it light so it doesn't leak. I can just kind of pull it down a little bit. So I add glue a little bit further down, or you could just do it on the bottom of this actual stem. And with that insert, it actually gives it strength, so it's not as flimsy. This one's probably the flimsiest, so be careful when you're working with putting the card together, because that's the one that's going to give you trouble. I didn't want them too big because I wanted to kind of keep in scale. It's not in scale for the tree, but I think kind of scale-ish. And then we'll go ahead and put this on the, oh, before we do anything, I forgot to do that. Let's go ahead and fold this. So you want to get a good crease on it. Then we'll add this. So go all the way up to the heart. I don't go all the way to the edge, but I'm just going to go right to the bottom here, because it pretty much is just the feet that go below that. So let's just lightly place that. Get it in place. And you can flip on the back to see if you're off a little bit, or you could also assemble it right on the insert if you want. And this one doesn't have a tab, so we're just going to leave it like that. And this one, let's do the tab first. So you're going to fold it back, and you're going to fold it like this. So this one needs to fold forward. So before we put anything on, let's get a good crease. Whether you use a bone folder, or here I tend to use whatever's on my table that's round and smooth. I didn't get the best, but make sure you, so it's going to fold forward. It's a little bit wonky, but I think it's okay. If you're off a little bit, it doesn't make that big of a difference. So we're just going to go ahead and place the tree. And again, if you wanted to, so you can see that's how it's going to sit right there. It goes just a little bit below, so I'm just going to put glue to here. If you wanted to assemble it on the insert, you could do that as well. Especially if you have foam tape or something like that, because it might be difficult to get some pressure behind it. So I'm lightly placing it. Looking on the back, make sure I get it. I actually got it pretty set in place properly. A little bit off on the top. Not enough to cause me a bunch of grief. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add the panels to the front of this. So let's go ahead and fold this real quick. So I'm just doing all this little work first, and then we'll just assemble it all at once. I'm just folding this. And the reason I'm folding it before I put the panels on is because it's just easier for me to see the edges to center the panels. So it's discolored there because I accidentally got it wet. So I'll probably end up baking that the back. So I'll take the big piece first. You just want to center everything. So just center the panels in each section. And then once we get these on, just give me a similar color in the back. Once we get these on, we can go ahead and put it all together. So let me finish this, and we'll be back to assemble the card. So I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a different way to put this together than originally I did in this video. So this is the reason. So just assume we have the ones that you just piece together and put the top parts on like this. So the purple one. So I'm just going to show you without the items pieced on there, but I put F on the front so you know it was the front. So it's a little bit, we have this, and you need to go ahead and fold it on the score lines like shown. So the way it's going to go together is like this. It's going to glue right there. And the reason I have it glue rather than fold is some people might want to use 8.5 by 11 paper, and not always will it fit on 8.5 by 11. So I wanted to make sure it's 8.5 letter size compatible. Also, if I make it larger, this will be the same method, because if I make a 5 by 7 or a larger card, it'll be the same methodology. So what I want to point out is this one with the 2 holes, it's the front. So that'll be the front. So this is facing the front. That's the middle, and then this is the back. So it's going to go like this. So everything front's going to face that way. So what we want to do, so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can glue these together first, which we're going to do, or you could do it after we do these 2 sides. So I'm going to show you. So you'll understand. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to glue them together first. I'm just going to take this middle piece. So find the piece that's folded down like this, not the angled side. Just add glue to this side and make sure that it's folding with the mountain fold right there. So this you're going to fold inward like that. Like that. We're going to just line it up, and we didn't do it with the tab again because it's really not necessary. We just want to get this lined up, and it's pretty easy to line it up. Makes it nice and sturdy in the middle. So once we have that, we have that's going to form the top of the card. So you want to kind of get the glue close to this edge up here. So we're going to do one side at a time. So let's do the middle first. So make sure the front is pointing towards this big one in the front here. So this indicates the front of the card, back of the card. So you're going to go ahead and slide this in. I'm just going to angle it up. So let's get that out of my way. So just make sure that's facing forward. And we're going to go ahead and add glue to the back of this. No, you can't see it. So you need to push it in, make sure it's flush on the top, and then just glue it down. So for the next one, this is the front one, which are the flowers, and of course we would already have the flowers on there. We always want it on these cards fold towards the middle. So this folds mountain fold like that. We're going to slide this in. It is folded back because it's back towards the middle. I'm just going to rotate this and put this part flat right there. That part flat. I'm just going to pull that out right there. So if I keep just this part flat, you're going to fold that up. So I'm going to add glue to it, and then I'll make sure it's pulled all the way through. Once we have glue on it, again, you want to make sure that it's pulled all the way through, because what's going to happen is it's going to glue to this bottom part, which is going to be the mechanism to push it up and down. So you're just going to fold it over like that. Just flush. And then you can see that's what it does. So for the back one, we're going to go ahead and make sure we're going to have to fold it not backwards but forwards, but make sure you slide it in from the front down like this until it hits those little things to make it not go through. Then I'm going to place it flat like that. And I'm just kind of pulling on it, make sure that it's flush at the top. I'm going to fold that back. Add glue to this tab. And then fold it over. And apply pressure. So you can see same thing happen on the back there. Then to close it up, we could do it a couple ways. You can go like this and glue it, add glue to that like that, or we can fold it up. I'm going to do it this other way. I'm not using the sturdiest paper to show you how to do this. And we can fold it like that. So I'm going to fold them in. So if you can take a look. So when it's up, so we'll go ahead and just add glue here. Just going to line that up. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So now, when we open it, everything's in there, and it lines up and pops it all up. So when we'll close it, it'll be like that. When it opens, it'll be like that. And then you can fold it flat either way, but I'm just kind of training it. So you might want to train it before you put on the sides, but the next steps are the sides, and it'll go back. You'll see the next step has the actual items on the inserts. So we just need to put that outside on. So it's going to flatten like that. So I want to put this part on the back because I had an issue on the paper. So you just want to add glue to this top. And what you're going to do is line up the bottom edge. You could do the big part, one of the big parts. It doesn't matter which one. It's just a matter of which side you glue the last tab. So whatever side we take this section, we're going to line it up on the bottom. So always on the bottom. So we want to make sure it's centered. This is like one of the most important parts, so just make sure you get it in place. These cards are, you know, once I did one, I mean, they are engineered in a way for everything to work. So if you don't get things in the right place, then just, it'll be slightly off. But they're not hard to make. Once you make a couple, it's like super easy. And then so I made glue on the back. So there's nothing else we need to glue other than the front and back. Same thing, it should fold right over into place, but if it doesn't, you might have to just angle it a little bit, which I do. And there's one thing, it's just the final side tab. So we can go ahead and flip that inside. Let me do it the other way, let's see if I can get you the angle here. Sure I'm not out of... So I folded the tab in, and then I'm going to fold this over. Biggest thing is I want it to be flat, so if it's a little bit off because not quite square or something, nobody's going to notice it. So you can put your own sentiment. I didn't include a sentiment with this card. I actually spent quite a while engineering a way for me to recreate a card like this, so this is the first one. So you might want to fold it down a little bit, fold it up, because when you fold it up like that, That's what makes it flip in. So if you're going to give this to somebody, you might want to put something, I didn't put it on, but you might want to add something like push up or something like that so they know how to open it. Because by default, I mean, you can do that, but they may not know just to do that little gentle push. So you can see I was a little bit off on that edge, but it's not a big deal. So that's it. If you do like this project, this card, please give me a little thumbs up below and or subscribe to my channel. So here they are side by side. And again, they flatten to go into an A2 envelope. I hope you enjoyed this project, and thanks for watching.